Hello, my name is Peregrine, and I bring good news. The Overwatch lore has been added to, with a comic and a short story, which, while not explaining the main stories at the moment, they're very interesting B-plots. It's adding to the world building and giving us a lot more information on where certain characters are right now. We'll start with the comic, The Deep Sea Deception, which focuses on Venture, Lifeweaver, and a new character, Lifeweaver's partner, Pollock. Something about Vendetta's Talon has made the agency move more with considerable force, and the takeover of Vishkar by Domina is now looking to be also very hands-on in trying to retrieve Lifeweaver's biolight, and no doubt to try and punish him for leaving. To do this, Domina has revealed the location of a family's stolen artifacts, inside the ruins of what appears to be some sort of museum but also seems to be a vault. This museum cannot be broken into or changed due to its recognition as a reef for supercoral, which is a form of coral designed to be resistant to climate change. This is important because it preserves biodiversity in the reefs, it keeps up food chains, and also reduces floods and erosions of nearby lands. Supercoral is a thing that exists in real life, and it's a very interesting topic to look into, but it's way too complicated for me, so I'm probably not going to. Someone at Vishkar has tipped off the Wayfinder Society that the artifacts are inside this museum to try and bait Lifeweaver to investigate it, as he is the only person that can safely move around the coral using biolight technology, as the life aspect of biolight allows the coral to stay alive while being moved, so it can be picked up and put somewhere else without damaging it. The plan has worked absolutely perfectly because as they go in there, a Vishkar teleporter, potentially by Symmetra, is opened inside the vault, bringing Domina and Talon agents through to arrest Lifeweaver and kill Pollock and Venture. Naturally, the good guys survive, however the coral reef and the ancient artifacts are damaged heavily, leaving to somewhat of a bittersweet ending. But now, after such a brazen attack on an eco point, Lifeweaver should be taking the next logical steps of contacting Overwatch, which shouldn't be too hard, as May, a fellow climate researcher, probably has somewhat of a connection to Lifeweaver, or Sojourn seems to always have a finger on the pulse as Overwatch's strike commander, so it shouldn't be too hard for someone as famous as Lifeweaver to get in contact with them and join. With Lifeweaver, you've also got the potential of managing to pick up Symmetra as well for Overwatch, who is currently not happy working for Vishkar, and seriously needs to join the ranks of Overwatch at some point, as having someone with her talents would be incredibly helpful. Although I don't think Pollock is going to be joining, as they don't seem to have the build or personality for combat. They seem like they're going to be in the background kind of character, like Emily. It is unknown from the story what Venture's next moves are. They just kind of have a tendency to accidentally show up wherever Talon is, so I think that's just going to be Venture's gimmick, where they just keep doing that over and over again. The annoying mole will return in Avengers Doomsday. Next on the shopping block, we have a much more meatier story in The Fall of a Sparrow, which is apparently in collaboration with the band Yoasobi, but I don't see how it's related, because it's not. Like, none of this is mentioned, I don't get it, it just says it in the top right and I don't know why. As a short story over a comic, there's left to show, but a lot more to talk about. Genji has dipped from Overwatch without telling anyone. Again, he really likes doing that. He's investigating reports of Talon operatives working hand in hand with the Hashimoto, Overwatch's stand-in for the Yakuza, and other reports about the Yokai, Kiriko's rebel group. Of course, like all good stories, it begins with a cool-sounding fight scene, where it is discovered that Kiriko's father, Toshiro, has been forced to make weapons for the Hashimoto. But then the story goes back in time for a deeper explanation of the Shimada brothers' past together, and a big reveal that Genji and Hanzo's mother, Rumiko, left them. Quite young, she just vanished one day, running from the Shimada crime family, as it is suggested she couldn't take it anymore. Genji was taking a very young Kiriko to the arcade but lost track of her, leading to Hanzo finding her outside, scolding Genji for his carelessness and taking him home to a meeting with their father, who absolutely explodes on his sons for them not giving a fuck about the family name and keeping the crime syndicate going. It appears that even when he was young, Genji did not approve of the way his family dealt with things, being much closer to his mother in contrast to Hanzo and his father. Even though it was Genji's fault, Hanzo chooses to take the blame for his naive younger brother, and the next day baby Kiriko is used as bait for Genji and Hanzo to be ambushed by Kiriko's mother, Yamagami, and a squad to test the brothers' abilities to fight together, which they fail to do horribly. When Genji talks to Hanzo about running away, Hanzo reveals that whenever Genji runs, which he does constantly, Hanzo always takes the fall, and always receives the brunt of the abuse that their father deals. And all he really wants from Genji is for his brother to be beside him to take the responsibility together. The story bounces back to the present day, where Genji is being ambushed by a combination of Talon and Hashimoto goons, using regular weapons and anima-infused weapons created by Toshiro. only for him to be saved by none other than Hanzo himself, who, after 10 years of contemplating after the Dragon's Shore, has taken aside and is no longer hiding from his duty and working with the yokai to defeat the Hashimoto to restore Hanamura, Kakenenza, and Hanoka back to its former glory. Genji informs the duo of Hanzo and Kiriko that he intends to be captured by the Hashimoto and be taken in to get more information on their leader, leading to him meeting with her, the next hero to be added to the game, and that's where the story ends. The Fall of a Sparrow manages to add a lot to the past and future of Overwatch's story in a quite impressive way, since it really isn't that long, and considering how much of the story is just describing a fight. This has given us a much better view into the dynamic between Genji and Hanzo. The Dragon's Short showed us a kind of a goofy brother and one that was way too serious and loyal to his father over his brother. However, the Fall of a Sparrow shows us a completely different duo, that being a careless, cowardly brother and a loyal, selfless brother who takes hits for his younger brother, completely changing my interpretation of the final duel between the two, which left Genji disfigured. This story ends with Hanzo being very open about his feelings about Genji's behaviour, but it is clear from the duel that Genji did not properly take those words to heart and continued running away and acting like a fool, even though he was aware of the harm he was causing to both Hanzo, Kiriko, and the rest of the family. So when it came to their big fight, Hanzo probably was out for blood. He probably wanted Genji dead for leaving him so many times, and hated him for being a coward who ran, similar to their mother. Which means I've been spending the last 10 years mischaracterizing Hanzo as some stoic, doom or gloomy guy, when in reality he was just a good brother who was hurt one too many times and forced to suffer alone, and it's no wonder that Genji needed to find a way to forgive himself in the mountains, because he truly was a selfish guy. The story leaves off on a cliffhanger, obviously, but it leaves a few different concepts for the future. For example, Genji has been captured on purpose, so that could lead to either Overwatch breaking him out by tracking him, or the yokai rescuing him. Either way, this offers Hanzo, Kiriko, and Mizuki opportunities to join Overwatch through Genji. However, as we know, Mizuki is a plant from the Hashimoto, potentially leading to a hidden mole inside of Overwatch, like a traitor arc in an anime, where they try and find who the Talon agent is, which could cause a lot of interpersonal drama due to the fact that some characters, like Baptiste and Sim, do have connections to Talon, or even someone like Zarya's connection to Volskaya can cause tensions. This is a good kind of jump-off point to really get the Overwatch lore back and ready to go again. But, let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, hype if you're on mobile, and I will see you in the next video. Probably. As I am contractually obliged to do, I'm going to thank my eggs. Cameron Wilson fan, Cherry Balls, God Noodle, Lord Gracchus, Persistent, Despair, Brian, Zoe, Freya, Gothic Dino, and Slate Rex. Thank you for your continued support.